everyone. I'm Jillian Sidoti, and the guy to, I don't know how this comes out.
That side.
That side of me is Jeffrey Hulse. This is Last Life Ever, and today we're going to be talking about the start of a brand new K.I.N.D Morning challenge, and we'll do it right after this. So we have this thing called the K.I.N.D Morning challenge that we started doing like earlier in 2020, like mid 2020, was something we came up with. And Jeff, tell people what the K.I.N.D Morning challenge is all about.
Okay, well, the K.I.N.D Morning challenge is about taking a 40-day period to sort of reset your mental and physical well-being. So it's really just about building out a routine that allows you to do really great things. So the first thing you do is K, the kind part of K is for a random act of kindness. So basically every day for 40 days, you commit to do something kind for someone else without expecting anything in return. The second letter of K.I.N.D is for invest in yourself. So the I is for invest in yourself. And what we do is 40 minutes a day of investing in yourself. And for me, we went through one K.I.N.D morning before, and we're about to start the second one. I chose to write fiction for 40 minutes a day. And in that 40 minutes, even though I'd never published anything fiction before in my life, I was able to not only write some short stories, but actually get one published. So it's proof that this stuff works. What about you, Jillian? Are you excited for investing in yourself?
I am. I haven't quite figured, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I have a lot of things I want to do. I haven't quite figured out what I want to commit to yet. It's so funny that you did the fiction thing, because I've had this idea for a kids novel for like a couple of years now. And I kind of am getting, I've been reading a book that I don't want to say what book it is with my kids. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to write this. I got to write this book that I've had in the back of my brain for a long time. But I don't even really know where to start. So one of the things I might do to invest in myself is take a couple of masterclasses. I'm a huge proponent of masterclass. If you guys want to go check out masterclass.com, last year we gave away 2 subscriptions to Masterclass. It's where people who are actually the masters in their field, true experts, will teach you their skill. And there's all kinds of cool people on there, like Malcolm Gladwell is one of the ones I took. Judy Bloom is another one, which is probably one I could take for this purpose. Tom Morello teaches guitar, things like that. Gordon Ramsay teaches you how to cook. So you should go check that out, masterclass.com. So I honestly, I haven't quite nailed it down yet what I'm going to do.
It sounds like you've decided to write fiction. It's what it really sounds like to me, and I would recommend it. Although the other option would be to work on your singing abilities.
Yeah. I have a lot of things I got to work on.
Yeah, right. We all do. That's the whole point of the K.I.N.D Morning challenge, is to start working on things though. So we're drinking coffee. Okay. Me too.
Yeah. I went to Krispy Kreme today. I went to my local, Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. I was very upset. They were closed and I had to default to Krispy Kreme, and no offense, Krispy Kreme, your coffee ain't that great. Anyhow, let's keep going. I guess they're never going to sponsor the show now.
Yeah, unless they're watching us and then they want to sponsor, in which case I think it's the greatest coffee ever. All right, so the N and the D from K.I.N D, so going back, is no distractions or no drinking. So last time I chose no drinking, and, I'm going to do it again this time. It's a little hard with my old-fashioned real estate branding to not be drinking, but it's only 40 days, so no problem. It went really well last time. I actually lost a little weight just by not drinking. I really hadn't added in too much exercise or anything. So I'm optimistic. Maybe lose some more weight when I'm not drinking for 40 days.
Nice. I too, I've already started not drinking. I plan on continuing that and not drinking as well. So
yeah. I started as well. Even yesterday I went out to the bar and didn't drink. I just drank water. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you. Yeah. And one of the things I recommend, if you're going to do the no drinking, and you don't like this recommendation, Jeff, I know, but I do like really flavored water, like sparkling waters. And what I mean by that is the ones that taste like soda. So not like the Perrier with a dash of lime, but like the actual, kind you get from Walmart that is in, I wish I had one around
So
here.
we were talking about bubbly and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so bubbly can sponsor our show now because you're talking about recommending them. That's better than the coffee thing. But listen, so the other thing is too, if you choose to do no distractions, because if you're already not drinking, then giving up drinking wouldn't be a challenge. There are things that you can do. No distractions means figuring out something that's distracting you and getting rid of it for 40 days. This is sort of modeled after Lent, right? That's the idea, is just give something up for 40 days to sort of refocus and recommit yourself to being a successful person. So anyway, that's the kind part of Kind Morning. Jillian, why don't you tell everyone what the morning part of Kind Morning is?
So the next thing is that you want to have a morning routine, something that gets you going in the morning so you're set up for success for the rest of the day. And that can be anything for you. Like, for example, I know for a while there when when my kids were in school and I knew we would come home late, my morning routine would actually be to put dinner together. I'd put dinner together and then I would put it in the fridge. And that way we had a nice relaxing evening where you just had to put dinner right into the oven and it was done. And there was no, messing the kitchen up in the evening. There was no, rush to get dinner on the table or anything like that. So I don't want you to think your morning routine has to be some, dramatic meditation and yoga and journaling and all this stuff. Although I am a huge proponent for all of that stuff, I just want you to be committed to a morning routine that will help you get through the rest of the Kind Morning Challenge, whatever that is for you.
In fact, your morning routine could be taking 40 minutes to invest in yourself, right? It doesn't really matter what your morning routine is. The point is to pick something and stick with it, because the Kind Morning works really well if you take 40 days and you dedicate yourself to following the steps. The steps are, again, kindness, invest in yourself, no distractions or no drinking, and then a morning routine. It doesn't actually matter what it is. Your goals are going to be different than my goals and Jillian's goals. And so do whatever makes sense, but pick something between now and Monday when we're starting, because we're starting Monday, just to be clear. And of course, you could start any day you want. But if you want to do the Kind Morning at the same time as us, we're starting Monday morning. And we would recommend that you start along with us. And then also, if you do start, please share it in the Facebook group or on our Facebook pages or on your own Facebook pages with the hashtag Kind Morning 40 or Kind Morning. Either one of those works.
So this is for 40 days, and there's a couple of tips I want to give you on how to be successful. The first tip I want to give you, which I don't actually have written down, is that every night when you're done, to get a little calendar like this, like a journal, or you can even get like a regular wall calendar, like at the dollar store for $1. I mean, my church actually gave away, I wish I had it here in front of me, but my church gave, big, the calendars you hang on the wall. You could take one of those. And what you want to do is every night record what you did that day. And that way it gives you a sense of accomplishment, and it also holds you accountable so that you can keep going. Like, so for example, Jeff and I started working on this earlier this week because we wanted to, get, kind of prime the pump, if you would. And so every day I kept track of what I did, and I know where my successes and failures are for that, so that now hopefully every day I just get incrementally better. So strongly recommend keeping track of your progress. You also don't need to use this. Another thing you could use is just a spreadsheet.
I use a Google Doc actually on my phone.
Yeah.
And I incorporate it into my morning routine. You're saying do it at night, which is great. But what I do is in the morning, I write down in a Google Doc what I did the day before, right? Mm-hmm. Sort of to verify that I did what I needed, and then what I plan to do that day. And then each day, as part of my morning routine, I look at it and say, okay, you did the things you said you were going to do yesterday. Congratulations. And here's what you're going to do today. And it kind of gets you started off in the morning, to me at least, feeling like, okay, cool, I accomplished something, and it creates progress first thing in the morning. And then you get going on the rest of your day, and it's just amazing. And it works really, really well for me. But yeah, morning, night, probably check in morning and night. That's something that I've been doing this year, is going over my goals every morning and every evening.
Super smart. And let me tell you something. You and I both listened to the Tim Ferriss interview. I think Kathy Crow, Last Lifer, Kathy Crow recommended listening to the Tim Ferriss interview of Hugh Jackman, right?
Yeah, it was
And
great.
Hugh Jackman recommends that you write your day as if it already happened and exactly what is going to happen that day. So in the morning, you write down so here I've been doing this actually. I wasn't going to bring it up, but you kind of brought it up, Jeff. So like, for example, on Thursday, I wrote, today I got a power day. Jeff and I are both in step bets. It's part of like trying to keep, our health and fitness up. So I wrote down, today I got a power day. Today I ate well and drank water. Today I made improvements on Last Life Ever. Like these are the things I wrote on Thursday. And then Thursday night, and I don't want to show it to you because I'm kind of embarrassed, but on Thursday night, I went through it and I wrote either a smiley face and like okay face or a frowny face based on whether I did all the things that were on this list. And then, started again on Friday and wrote what I was going to do that day. And then I recorded, my K.I.N.D Morning stuff on my calendar.
That's great. All right, Jillian, what else we got? Anything else we need to do before we wrap this video up?
Yes, I have a couple more tips. So tips, make a list of potential acts of kindness. I'm going to
We lost your audio, Jillian. So I agree with this tip, though. You should make a list of potential acts of kindness, because that actually was very difficult for me in the first K.I.N.D Morning 40. Not because I'm not kind, but because, lockdowns and everything, it's hard to figure out what it is you can do that's not just giving people money. Giving people money works. It's definitely counts. But finding things that are outside of that and branching out from that is part of the growing process that the K.I.N.D Morning is about.
Absolutely. And the thing is, like, I also struggled, same thing. I just constantly was like, oh, here's a couple bucks, here's a couple bucks. And that's not, that doesn't really it moves the world forward, but not in a completely meaningful way. And I want to be more thoughtful, more mindful, really thinking about what I'm doing. So to get help with this, I got this little book, do one thing every day to change the world. I'm going to go through this book, find things to do. And then I'm going to share with you guys what I did. And then perhaps you can join me in doing these acts of kindness. I'll do that every day.
I think you should also, over the weekend before Monday, make a post with like 10 ideas to get people started, so that people can have some ideas in the group. So if you're in our Last Life Ever private Facebook group, that post will be in there. It'll have 10 ideas, 10 random acts of kindness that people can do as they go through the next week.
All right. The next one is do the same thing every morning at the same time. This is to get your morning routine dialed in. Like, even if you go to bed at midnight and you're like, oh, I really want to sleep in, don't. Just that day, you're just going to have a little less sleep, buddy. Like, just get up at the same time every day. And by the way, when I say you just got to get up at the same time every day, buddy, you're going to have a little less sleep, I'm actually talking to myself. So maybe I should say, girl.
Hey, what do you do if after you're in bed, somebody calls you and wakes you up?
Jeff, we're not talking about that right now. I'm sorry. I called Jeff really late last night. I'm sorry, Jeff. And for those of you that don't know, Jeff stays up really late and barely gets any sleep. So I really didn't think anything of it, because usually
it's totally fine. Normally I would be awake at 1 o'clock in the morning when people call me.
It wasn't 1 o'clock, it was midnight, but that's enough of that. That's enough of that. Okay. All right.
I actually was still awake. I'm just teasing you. But anyway, I think it's a great idea.
So tips, schedule your time to invest in yourself the same time every day. So you're going to do your morning routine the same time every day, and you want to do your invest in yourself the same time every day. And for those of you that have kids or other appointments, or your schedule varies day to day, you got to just pick that one time where your schedule doesn't vary.
I would say if this isn't possible, just schedule it, right? Mm-hmm. Like make sure it's scheduled. If you look at your calendar and you're like, I normally do my invest in myself at 8 a.m. and tomorrow I have an important Zoom call at 8 a.m., then that's fine. Then just pick another time during the day, but make sure it's on your calendar and scheduled. If you're that busy that you have to change it, get it scheduled. But you should shoot for the same time every day, because it makes your life so much simpler. And one of the things that we strive for in Last Life Ever is to live a simple life.
Oh, you're not kidding. It's like my mantra for 2021 is simplify, simplify, right? So the next thing we want you to do is, if you are like me and you're like not sure what you want to do or what you want to focus on, mix it up, but have a plan. Like, you can't just say, I think I want to do like, and this is where I am. So I'm projecting right now. You can't just say I want to do piano and write a book and whatever else, get really good at mediumship.
That's a strange goal. Listen, so I think I know where you're going with this. It's okay if you don't work on one skill, as long as you're making a plan in advance to invest in yourself. What you can't do is be like, oh, looking back at today, I invested myself by reading a novel, and you're just using an excuse because you were reading that novel anyway. You actually have to sit in advance and decide what you're going to do to invest in yourself. And it might be 3 days a week, I'm going to go to the gym, and 4 days a week, I'm going to work on writing. That's perfectly fine, right? But you have to make a decision in advance, because otherwise you're not really following a routine, and you're not really
and
building.
You're all over the place, and you're not building anything.
Well, you're not actually investing. It's like, there's two different ways to put money in the stock market. One is to invest and the other is to gamble. You don't want to gamble on yourself. You want to invest in yourself.
Right. Oh, I love that. You don't want to gamble on yourself. You want to invest in yourself. I love that. And it's funny. I'll be holding a seance in about 40 days after.
Somehow I think that's not true. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that's probably not true.
Okay. So get rid of the distraction or the triggers for the distraction. So ND means no distractions, no drinking. So you want to get rid of any triggers.
Does that mean I'm not supposed to go to the bar? Because
I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you for going to the bar and not drinking, because that could be a trigger.
Yeah, no, it is a trigger, because when I walked in, they started making a drink because I'm kind of a regular there. And I was like, no drink for me today. I'm just drinking water.
Wow. They must have been real disappointed. Anyhow, you want to get rid of the triggers. So for example, one of the things I've thought about doing is not watching TV. I can just have the remote control on myself. But then again, the rest of my family might be really upset about that.
They're just playing video games anyway.
Yeah. So get rid of the distraction or the triggers for the distraction, whatever you're trying to give up. Like, so for example, if you're giving up sugar, get rid of all the sugary shit in your house. Oops, sorry. Shouldn't be.
We're going to have to bleep that later.
This is a family friendly show. All right. So we have some comments, and then we're going to head on out of here. So first, somebody wants to congratulate you on not drinking. That's really cool.
I think they're congratulating me actually on getting my story published, because they put that up right when I said that.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Well, that is a huge.
But I deserve congratulations on both. Yes.
So great. Veronica is validating what we're saying, that morning and evening routines are really important, and it's working really wonderfully for her. And she's editing a video about it. And what she does for her morning routine, this is actually really helpful. Thank you, Veronica. She puts down 3 things she's grateful for, 3 things she's excited about, and what her focus is going to be for that day. So that's excellent excellent advice. Thank you.
Well, she has an evening routine too.
Yeah. And so Kathy is committing to writing something positive or encouraging to people on social media. Awesome.
Nice. That's a great act of kindness, because that's something we don't see a lot of on social media.
Yeah. No, especially nowadays. Anyhow, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you watching our little segment here. And we hope you will join us on Monday. Come to our Last Life Ever group. Facebook group, Last Life Ever. And here, go to our Facebook group, join the Facebook group, and be held accountable. Get some tips, get some ideas of what you can be doing. Tell us what your wins are. We really want to hear about how this is working for you, and is it successful, and what successes you've had. We really want to hear about that. And we're going to be giving away prizes throughout the 40 days for people who participate in staying accountable and holding others accountable and telling us your successes. So you never know what's going to happen. Come join us in our Facebook group. Jeff, any last words?
Let me think. Oh, yes. I have something to say.
Oh.
This is going to be very original, and we've never said it before. I want to remind everyone to live the best version of their last life ever.